Today, I'm joined by Jimmy Black, frontman and vocalist for the Dreadful Tides, who are making their way to Brisbane this August 30 to be a part of the Rock is Not Dead Festival at the Brightside in Brisbane. Welcome to the Rockpit, Jimmy, the Rockpit, who are proud sponsors and supporters of the Rock is Not Dead Festival. How are you, my friend?
Not too bad. Slaidins, how are you?
Loving life, mate. Loving life. So you guys are finally making your trek to the north of the country. So is this your first visit with the Dreadfuls to Brisbane?
It is. It is our first visit to Brisbane. I'm no stranger to Brizzy myself, but it's very exciting to get out there with the boys, definitely.
So you released an incredible self-titled EP earlier this year, which is just five tracks of pure class. What can we expect from the Dreadful Tides live on the stage in Brisbane?
Oh, look, we only hope to bring the same amount of energy that is on that EP and on all of our recordings to the stage, if not more. We'll play with the same energy to one person that we will to hundreds. So it's we're all about putting on the live show. So when we get on stage, you know, it's home for us. It's where we want to be. It's where we look forward to being. And we really hope that carries across to the audience, and they have a good time. We have a good time, and the energy is always there. So usually we get an audience feeding off that pretty well, and the shows tend to show through like that.
Now, the EP is your first set of recordings with the band. How did you come to become a part of the band, and tell us a little bit about your audition process? Because I know it's got an interesting story behind it.
Yeah, well, I'd actually taken a break from like the heavier side of things with vocals and all that sort of stuff for a little bit to focus on family and whatnot at the time. And I was just perusing Facebook, funnily enough, and they had an ad up in uh, like a band find people sort of page or group. Um, I don't know what possessed me. I just decided to leave a comment and said, bugger it. I'll shoot him a line and go, hey, I can sing, no worries. And I think it was Lee got in contact with me, the drummer, via Messenger, and he said, "Hey, here's some tracks. Just do your best to lay down a vocal and send it back to us." And I think I did the vocal for Rebel initially and sent that back to him. There was a couple of others, and they're like, "Yeah, great. Come in for a rehearsal." And it was just one of those things where I was like, "Look, I'm not really looking for a band at the moment, but I'll go down and I'll have a look, see what it's about." And I rock up to the rehearsal studio and it just fit. Like, walked into the room, started jamming and singing. It was electric. It's no other way to explain it. It's you can jam with other musos and other like-minded souls and still not have that sort of uh, kismet feeling, that sort of connectivity with everybody in the room. And this was just like walking into a powder keg. It was great. And that's the rest of its history, I suppose.
I guess so. And your first show with the Dreadfuls, where was that, and when was that?
First show. Oh, you're testing me memory now. First show with the Dreadful Tides. I think that was at the. Where was it? Wasn't the Bendigo? I'm trying to remember now. Slides. You put me on the spot there.
Or was it the late great
What?
Whole Lot of Love?
It might have been a whole lot of love.
I think it was too, actually, from memory.
Yeah.
So yeah, and you know, going from the rehearsal room out to the live stage. I mean, you mentioned the energy that you guys have, and the sort of the synchronicity that you guys share that seems to come so naturally. Were you surprised by how well it worked in a live environment in front of an audience as well?
Oh, absolutely. So it's I've found in my past experience with heavier band, like, well, not just heavier bands, any bands. that energy you experience when you're jamming in rehearsal is the same energy you experience on stage. It's just on a grander scale. Especially when you've got a live audience in front of you feeding off that, and you're feeding off them, feeding off that. It's sort of a chemical reaction that just makes chaos, and the best kind of chaos. So yeah, it's I think it's definitely, if anything, it's amplified when you do it live.
For sure. And regarding, the self-titled EP that came out late last year, early this year,
Mm.
how much of that had been written and finalised? Was it a case of you just stepping in and offering your vocals on top of the tracks that you were handed, or was there a little bit more to it? Was there little bit more Jimmy Black involved in that process?
Well, I think the crux of the riffs and the guts of the songs were there. I think tracks like Black Widow were pretty much all but written, and it was just like putting sort of my flavor on them, or like even the vocal melody had sort of been played with but wasn't completely written, but the lyrics were. So the lyrics were there. I think we have Justin Strutty to thank for the lyrics for Black Widow. But that was just putting my spin on it. Fire in the Hole was a completely different song before I arrived. That's one that they had different lyrics to, different vocal melody. They had the basic riff there, and it was going in a different direction. And that was the first sort of idea they got that I was going to shake the cage up a little bit, because I took that song and basically go, well, here, I've done this with it. And I completely flipped it on its head lyrically and vocally, and took it back. And the song even ended up being about something else. So I took a completely different track with it, and we rolled with that, and it stuck, and we fell in love with it the way that was. And yeah, the other tracks like Lovesick was already written. The lyrics again had already been written for that. Vocal melody was all I had to put to that. And I guess like House of Pain had already been written. So that was just basically, we wanted to re-release that with a bit of a different flair, and with my vocals over the top of it, to sort of reintroduce it to the world as who we are now. And I think that came off really well. But finally, Animal Inside was all we had was the riff for Animal Inside, and the rest of it sort of came together. And basically where I fit into the mix with a lot of the creative side of things, to try to cut it short a little bit. The creative side of things is like Strutty is an amazing writer when it comes to riffs and melodies with the guitar. Lee really is really great at having a gutsy drum line to fill it all out from the back. Nothing that'll take it away from its hard hitting nature, which is where we sort of get our signature sound. But I pretty much just come in with the vocal melody and the lyrics, and sort of where the lyrical soul of the song's headed. So that's my input at the moment. At the moment, well, with being a guitarist as well, I'm throwing riffs and everything around, but it's at the end of the day, it's left to the people in their positions in the band to take any input from any member of the band and twist it and make it their own. It's very much a big mixing pot of a lot of ideas, and we come out with an amalgamation of hard-hitting songs.
So there is new music on the way there?
We're working on it. Yeah, we're working on it. At the moment, we've got a bit of a stalemate of a lot of ideas and not much finished product. So, but we are. Last time we jammed, actually, the other week, we are trying to nail down a couple of tracks to just get done. And I feel like they're going to be some pretty big songs there. Yeah.
It's so cool that you mentioned the way that you all write collectively, and it becomes this big melting pot that defines the sound. I think your addition to the group and your vocal what you add in depth and tone and the way that you deliver, a lyrical line and passage is unrivaled. It's fantastic stuff. Is it rare? I mean, obviously, sometimes music can come naturally, and sometimes it can come when you least expect it, I guess. After a bit of a loggerhead, as you sort of say, you start with ideas, or you get to a point and you go, okay, where do we turn from here? Is that half the magic of writing original music? Not knowing where it's going to end up, but knowing that you have the bones of something that's very, very special.
It's a mixture of both. So there's one sort of thrill knowing that, like someone will either send a riff to the group or they'll bring it up in a rehearsal, or even a beat or a vocal line or something like that. And sometimes you'll know immediately that the guts of a great song is there. Sometimes it'll take a little bit of pulling it apart and putting it back together and dismembering it to finally end up in a place of like, oh, hang on, this is the direction we've got to take this, and it's going to be great. But that might have been an idea that when you started that you would have thought twice about. So it's one of those things that it is a creative process. And I've heard of a lot of artists say that they have a particular creative process that is tried and true for them every time. I've found, just personally for me, I've found not in my case. Like some people will say, vocal melody first, like they'll hum it and then lyrics and then music, or some will say lyrics then music then vocal melody, or a different order of things. It just depends on the song for me. And so far with the Dreadful Tides, I think the tried and true method at the moment has been riff, lyrics, vocal melody, and then building the structure around that. So we'll get the basic crux of it and the basic structure all the way through. And then basically it'll be like laying it on the chopping board and going, right, which bits, do we want to put something in here? Do we want to take this out? Do we want to glue it together here? Do we want to throw a flavor of this riff from 5 months ago in there because it sort of fits? It's basically building Frankenstein's monster and then improving it. That's pretty much it. Yeah.
Great analogy. Fantastic analogy. Now, from a live standpoint, I mean, you guys are, you're a powerhouse live. Being a part of a festival like Rock Is Not Dead, how important is that for, independent artists like yourselves?
Oh, incredibly important. As a lot of people know, particularly in Australia, original live music, particularly on the heavier scale, like rock, hard rock, heavy metal. When you start getting into like your thrash metals and stuff like that, they're a little bit more popular. But in certain areas, definitely festivals like this, it's not so much that there's no following or no interest out there. It's huge. It's letting people know that it is still there, and there is still great artists and great music out there. And we know, like, we've played with dozens of them now, and like we've become friends with them. We're following their music and listen to their music. We listen to their music every week. So it's just a case of, instead of having your favorite go-tos on the radio or Spotify or anything like that, to take a gamble, put on a randomized playlist for local up-and-comers, go to festivals like this, go down to your local pub when there's a band playing that you haven't heard of before. That's all the stuff that we used to do when Australia's live music scene was really up and cracking. And I feel like it's on the way up, but festivals like this are definitely a big boost in the way of just letting people know and getting people involved in live music like this, and the culture and the sheer raw energy when you're there. It's it's absolutely fantastic. We honestly, our style of music in particular, and the people in this industry, we couldn't do it without festivals like this. So yeah, we owe them a lot.
It's funny. I spoke with Slither, who were one of those bands from the first Rock Is Not Dead that just absolutely blew me away. And if it wasn't for something like Rock Is Not Dead, I don't think I would have seen those guys, and I don't think I would have heard of them. These guys are really are the new generation. They're all teenagers. They're still in school. They're still doing what they do, but they do what they do exceptionally well. How important is it, do you think, that these types of festivals are bringing artists from other states to territories that may not have a chance to be exposed to you?
Uh, it's huge for one particular reason, and that's networking. So social media is great, but it tends to be more locked onto trends and what's already getting some traffic. So when you've got a practically unknown band, like a band full of people of like 17 to 19-year-olds who might even just be getting going, or you've got a great sound, but they might be only been around for 12 months, a couple of years. Um, that's where having festivals like this and having bands put together where it's so and so's heard of so and so, and like, oh yep, we're going to get them on this festival. We're going to get a few, maybe a bit more, been around the traps and well established bands in. We're going to get a mixture of everything. And the best part about that is all these bands are going to show up to this festival and they're going to talk and they're going to get together and they're going to share music ideas and they're going to share upcoming gigs, and we're all going to go to those. And it's building a huge network and a huge family of not just established acts, but established acts knowing about and listening to up and coming acts and emerging acts. So for that reason, even just for that reason alone, there's plenty of reasons why it's a huge thing. But just the connectivity is a massive bonus from festivals like this with emerging bands. Yeah.
And obviously, it's the opportunity to play to an audience that you don't every day. The Brisbane music scene, which spans as far as the Gold Coast. People might have heard you guys on Spotify, but I'm always a true believer that a live performance is is the consummate way to find new music. Tell us a little bit about a TDT set.
Where to start? Look, you're right. Playing live music to a brand new crowd is sort of it's a bit of a crucible, really. A bit of an arena to sort of test your metal against, not against it, test your metal with a new crowd and see how that goes. And look, if you do a good job, you almost always walk away with new fans. It's just a question of how many, and how many new people you get to meet. A TDT set, we're always sort of playing with it. But normally we try to structure it so we've got a good flow of energy. So we don't want to have it sort of drop in the middle or drop at the end or anything like that. We want to make sure we have a constant flow and a constant connection so the audience isn't sort of getting lost. Not so much in the music, but we want to make sure the audience isn't getting lost with energy. So we want that energy and that connection between us and the audience and sort of getting all fired up to be a gradual thing, but we want it to build and we want it to stay there. So putting together the TDT set is with that at the forefront. Absolutely. So like I said at the start of the interview, for us, there's a lot that goes into it about, making sure we're tight and making sure we're uniformed and we've got everything. We know where everyone is and what everyone's doing on stage. All those fail safes in case something goes wrong, we can switch it up. That's all well and good, but the main focus for us is energy, just that raw energy, because from what we hear from people who see us live and people we've performed with, and even when we perform, the energy is what comes across. That the energy and grit, and that's where our focus at the end of the day is at the forefront. Yeah.
So with this visit to Brisbane, obviously you guys have the EP available through online store and a range of merch. Are you bringing all of that to Brisbane for the new fans to consume?
Yeah, we are bringing all our merch to Brisbane. I'm not sure about. We've got some new printing and stuff going on, but Lee has been taking care of that. I'm not entirely sure where we're going to be up to by the time we fly out. However, we are bringing a fair bit. Well, I've been tasked with carrying the merch onto the plane, so seeing as I'm the singer and I don't have all that much gear, so that's going to be my gear. So as much as I can carry, we're going to be bringing with us. Yes.
Fantastic. Um, you know, again, for a band to be, thrown into a room full of varying artists from across the country, it must be a good feeling to know that Shane Dunn, the guy behind Rock Is Not Dead, has handpicked all of these bands, and there's something that he's obviously seen in every band. Is it nice to know that you are getting that reach and that you are getting these kinds of offers and opportunities?
It is not just from Shane either. Like it's been really really nice. We've been reached out to by other bands. We've been reached out to by um, collaboration interest. We've had a lot of chats and a lot of talks, and even just stuff that hasn't come beared fruit yet. But it's there's a lot of talking going on, a lot of mention of our music and all in a good light. So like I've been in a lot of bands, and some of them aiming at semi success, but never this quickly. Like we've really gained some traction very quickly, and I think it's always interesting trying to navigate that and figure out which way you need to be going at what time. But at the moment, we're really really grateful just to be taking it all in, and we're absolutely stoked that we've ended up being put on the lineup to go to Brizzy. So yeah, we've got nothing but admiration, and we're so grateful for Shane for putting us on this lineup, and we are so grateful for playing with such a lineup of stellar acts too.
Is there anybody on the lineup that you're particularly keen to check out?
All of them, just all of it. I look when people ask me the same question, "What's your favorite band?" I can't answer it. I don't have one. I'm very much of like if I go to a show, I don't show up to see one band. I see everybody. Even if I'm paying big, like paying for a big ticket to go to an arena and watch a band, I'm also going to watch the supports. So it's I couldn't really name any one band I'm really looking forward to. I'm looking forward to the entire thing, and especially with two young kids for me, getting away to Brisbane for a little bit and seeing some live music and a lot of really great bands that I can sort of absorb those sound waves. It's going to be absolutely fantastic.
Excellent, Jimmy. Well, thank you so much for taking time out of your day to chat to us. I mean, really looking forward to your set at Brisbane. Rock Is Not Dead to The Awakening. Brightside, August 30. Get along. And if you have any parting words for anybody that's on the fence about coming, what would you say to bring them along?
All right. So what I would say is, people, Rock Is Not Dead is lining up to be one of the best heavy rock music festivals in Brisbane that I've seen. Even just looking at the lineup this time, this is the second one. It's only going to get bigger and it's only going to get better. So get in now and get in early, see it now, and start. Let's start something. Start something huge, because once we start something huge, it just grows, and all we're doing is feeding the love around, and we're feeding more music. So definitely get onto it. It's better than sitting home and watching TV. So who wants to do that when you can go out and see live bands? I mean, it's a no-brainer.
Fantastic. Thanks again, Jimmy. I really do appreciate your time, and yeah, can't wait to check out your set in Brisbane. Thanks for again. Thanks for your time here at the Rockpit and for Rockers Not Dead. Yeah, we're sure you'll have an amazing time, and I can't wait to see your set up there, mate. Until then, travel safe, and we'll see you in Brisbane on August 30.
Thank you, Slade. It's always a pleasure. Take care. Thank you.
Thanks, buddy.